Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining today. We'll be getting going here shortly. We got a couple of folks still trickling in, so just hang tight if you don't mind for the next minute or two. We'll wait for some folks to finish piling in, and we'll get going. So thanks so much, and hold tight for another minute. Thanks. For those of you who've just joined us, thank you again for popping in. We're going to give it just another minute or two because I still see people coming in as we speak. So just one more minute probably, and then we'll get going here. But thank you again for the patience. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll get started here shortly. Thanks. Alrighty, so we will get going here right now. Thank you guys again for joining. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to join us to learn some more about SafetyHQ. I hope you guys are excited about it as we are. So very much excited to have you all join in. So before we get started, if you guys have any questions, I'll be doing my best to keep an eye on the questions area, but feel free to send those over in the chat. And I'll get to as many probably at the end as we can. And if you guys have any questions after we get off of this, feel free to reach out. Spoken with a few of you prior to this, but happy to have maybe a more personal one-on-one demo, or maybe this is we should get through most, if not everything today. But if you have some additional questions or things like that, we can certainly discuss it afterwards. So please feel free to reach out. Cool. Well, we will get started here. I guess again, this is SafetyHQ. We are extremely excited to have this as part of the foundation family now. It's not required that you're a foundation customer. You guys can use whatever accounting system, whatever estimating, whatever you're using. This is a completely standalone system. This has been in business for, it was previously known as Harness Software. This has been in business for, probably about 6 years, 7 years or so, until we pulled it into the foundation family. So we're really excited to have them on board. We acquired Harness probably in about June. It's now going as SafetyHQ, so there may be some Harness SafetyHQ items that you see out there. But yeah, we're very excited. This was born out of construction. It was born out of a husband and wife that were working in the safety industry. Husband was a developer, wife was a safety director for a roofing company. So I think she had just realized, and she was explaining to Tom, her husband, who are both still working with us today, hey, she's got a whole bunch of issues as far as managing, reviewing, and reporting, a whole bunch of safety items, tracking certifications, tracking completion of inspection forms, JHAs, toolbox talks, all of those types of things. So, in talking with her husband, Tom, a lot of discussions were had, and they said, hey, there's got to be a better way to do this. We can't be the only ones. I can't be the only one dealing with this. And they were absolutely right. There's been a high demand for some safety software. I think there's a lot of folks and a lot of clients that we've discussed with to this point, and over the last couple of years as we've worked with Harness and now SafetyHQ, that everyone's dealing with these issues. Everyone's dealing with, hey, I got an Excel spreadsheet over here. I have paper over here. I have one system for this, that, and the other thing. So what we're really trying to do is bring them all under one roof. Safety's hard enough to get the team on board with. So what we really want to do is make it easy to manage, easy to use for the folks in the field. And I hope you guys can see that as we go today. So as you'll see, this is the inbox area. This is where we'll start, at least where we have it open to. we can send notifications throughout the system through email, through inbox, through some text messages as well, and I'll point those out as we go. But some housekeeping before we go. This is a progressive web app, so this could be used on your iPhone, Android, tablet, whatever device you're using out in the field. We have a lot of flexibility. I'm on my laptop right now, but you'll see these kind of dead areas on the side will shrink down. So this is pretty much the same application that you'll see on a mobile device as well. So maybe we'll start today. There's a whole bunch that we can get into, but toolbox talks, tailgate talks, whatever you call them, tend to be pretty universal. So maybe we'll start here and then work into forums. We have a pretty good library in here to start. You know, if you have some specific things for your business, it's easy to add new topics, new, you know, toolbox talks, tailgate talks into your library here. But the first and foremost part is that it's easy to find and search and navigate here. So what I'll do here is I'll just search I'll search safe setup here for heavy equipment. This may be relevant to you, this may not be, but we'll just use this one as an example. If I use safe setup of heavy equipment, you'll notice that we've included some photos. There's a whole bunch of other items in here. And before I go any further, I also want to point out that this can be translated. So really nice in that users of English or Spanish will be able to identify and access this information appropriately. You can also set up defaults for users that maybe speak Spanish, you know, primarily, or English primarily, or what have you. So you'll notice this icon throughout the software. So just keep that in mind. Most of the items in here can be are bilingual. So here we are. We've searched it. We found safe setup of heavy equipment. This is the toolbox talk that we would like to perform. You have two options from here. First and foremost is you can get right into conducting the talk. So for some folks that maybe aren't using like an administrative perspective, and the foreman or whoever it is out in the field are selecting their own topics to discuss with the team, they can select it and jump right in. However, we got some other options here as well. We can go ahead and share this toolbox talk with the team. You know, whether it's the foreman, the crew leader, you know, maybe an individual user or what have you. I'll pick myself in here. We can send this out to the team right away, or we can send it in the future as well. We have some folks sending out, you know, months in advance to make sure that they're on top of things and these toolbox talks are scheduled. I can schedule this out as far in advance as I want, but I'll go ahead and select, we'll say 9/12, and we'll go 6:30. So I can send this toolbox talk. My team is going to receive this via, again, text message, notification in the app, and email as well. So those emails will take them right back into the app and review. Now, I sent that out in advance a little bit, so we'll go ahead and maybe cheat and grab one that we've done previously. I think I did this one yesterday as well. So they would select it right out of that notification area. They've been notified that they're to perform this toolbox talk. Great. All they have to do from there is hit this big yellow button. This is meant for, you know, construction fingers. This is focused for the construction industry. This yellow button is always going to be our action item. Ease of use is, if not the focus of this software, you know, it is one of the most important things that we pride ourselves on, because if we're not doing things easier, if we're not saving time when we're filling out forms, when we're completing tasks, you know, safety isn't always, you know, your crew members or your field members' top priority. It should be, and safety should be everyone's responsibility. But I think to really get them engaged and to really get them to perform the safety activities that you want, it certainly helps to have a super user-friendly method, and, you know, a way that's a little bit faster and more efficient than maybe doing some paper forms or whatever you might be doing now. So again, ease of use, functionality is a key here. So we'll go ahead and select that yellow button. I'm going to conduct that talk. I'll go ahead and select my bridge project, and you'll notice as we go, this is going to automatically populate a whole bunch of stuff. So you'll see throughout the presentation that we're really trying to limit those keystrokes and limit the required you know, entry time if we can. I'm giving the toolbox talk. Things went great with my team. Fantastic. This is the perfect time for me to collect my signature to say that I've completed the talk. And you can add folks throughout the team. I'll add a couple of coworkers here as well. And we can select those signatures and tie them right to the employee record. I know a lot of folks have had issues. Hey, we send out a paper toolbox talk, it gets lost, what have you. We get it back. There's signatures. We don't know whose signature is what. We're tying it right here to the employee records. That way, there's no confusion if we ever need to review this, via an inspection. The GC or maybe the customer wants to see any of these. We have them all right here. And heaven forbid there's an incident, we can also review that and confirm who was on the site and what have you. So I'll go ahead and submit that. That's a completed toolbox talk. It's as easy as that. Completing the talk is number one, but certainly number two is, reviewing and confirming that we have that information, right? So we can go and review all of our previous toolbox talks, really easy to manage. Additionally, we can go in and sort and filter by whatever we might need. If we want to see by the foreman that submitted it, if we want to see it by the project, if we want to see it by the toolbox talk subject, we can search by all of these types of items over here. We can use the universal search up here. We have a lot of options. Now, I mentioned this as a format in which, like a foreman will be giving this talk to a small group or a large group. You can also send this out to all individuals as well. So we're really flexible in the way that your company might operate for safety procedures. From there are some really awesome options as far as reviewing and confirming that our toolbox talks have been completed. Now, my group has a lot of test data in here, so hopefully you guys are performing toolbox talks at a better rate than my test users. But you can see here who has not completed their toolbox talks and kind of where they're at as far as progress is concerned. Now, this is determined by a set rule. We can determine whatever rule works best for you and your team. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a day, maybe it's twice a week, twice a month, what have you. We set up that rule in here, and that will help keep your team organized, as you proceed. And I said, I'm actually kind of peeking over here. You'll be able to sign the device. Individuals will certainly be able to sign that device to confirm that toolbox talk. And you'll see here shortly too, you can also take a photo of the group as well if maybe signing that device isn't ideal for your team. But so I apologize jumping aside here, but back into it, if we're managing it and reviewing, you can select maybe one member of your team, maybe two members of your team, maybe your whole team that hasn't completed their toolbox talks in time, and you can notify them right in the app. So this is going to save you a whole bunch of work from the admin side as far as retrieving that paperwork back from the team, managing it, organizing it, staying on top of folks to do what they need to do. Boom, we have it right here. We can notify them. And for those folks that might need a little bit more of a nudge, we can notify the manager as well. You can notify one or multiple, and you can include them to let them know that, hey, we got some toolbox talks that need to be completed. So really easy to manage. We got some other graphs that we can review, see how people have been performing and so forth, and it'll manage your overall compliance. And again, I certainly hope that you guys are better than me because these guys aren't using the software. So this is just a test demo instance. But we're really lucky. We have this worker compliance method, and we have all of these sort and filter options for all of our forms. Now I'll kind of take a quick second just to pause on here and give you an idea of what we can do in the way of forms. We got equipment inspections, we got a lockout tagout. We see a whole bunch of these used on a pretty frequent basis. But just to give you an idea, we'll probably jump through a JHA, like a pre-work, and then maybe a safety eval inspection, just to give you an idea. But as we get started here, you'll notice I select my JHA. You still have the same capability to sort, filter, and review the worker compliance as well. So just keep that in mind. For almost all the forms in here, we can do that. So a lot of flexibility. Now let's go ahead and select that JHA. I'm going to go ahead and pick a project. Again, it's going to auto-populate some of that information for me. It's getting hotter today here in Cleveland, Ohio, so we are going to pick clear and 80. We'll say we're doing this on a daily basis. Maybe that's when we're doing our JHAs. And then we'll go ahead and select some tasks. These are customizable again. So these tasks, these hazard types may not meet your company's specific needs, but the nice piece is we'll work with you once we get you on board. You send us your existing JHA. We got a pretty good way of managing or matching that right now, or we can customize it and build something separate based on your company's particular needs. So I went ahead, I just selected the top two. I just selected access and fall protection. And you'll see once I've selected those hazards, the hazard types that I'm going to be dealing with, it's now going to show me the additional items related to access and fall protection. So this is what we get at, again, by focusing the team on not doing things that they don't need to do. If we're not going to be dealing with fire, silica, excavation, you name it today, we don't want them to go through 5, 6 different pages on a form that aren't going to be relative to the hazards that they're going to see on the site today. So again, this is all part of getting them in here quickly and getting good information recorded from the safety perspective. So I selected a couple of hazards for each of those, and you'll see now, just like those hazards are selected from the hazard types, my controls are responsive as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select a couple of these, but you'll notice I picked ladder, I picked fall protection, picked a couple of these items in far as scaffolding. So these controls are responsive too. So again, based on what they're picking, the form is going to continue to evolve in front of them so that they can get good information as they proceed. And that's pretty much it. We're going through, we're selecting what we need. Great. We have that same signature option as we had before. This could be signed on an iPad, iPhone, Android tablet, just as we were mentioning with the Toolbox Talks. But the nice feature with JHAs, and this is also a feature with Toolbox Talks, I should mention, you can go ahead and include a photo as well. So I got some stock photos that I've been using here. But these folks can be using these from their devices right out there in the field, snap a photo at the time. And we can go ahead and mark some particular hazards that we see, on the site as we're reviewing it. So I'll go ahead, as easy as that. I don't know. These guys actually look like they're being fairly safe, so we won't pick on them too much. But maybe we'll say, hey, this is one of the access hazards or what have you. You guys get the idea. Easy to mark them up on the spot, and boom, that's included on the record for you when you're completing that JHA. I should mention also you can choose to require or not require things. If you're going through a quick demo with a big group of people, you might not want to have all these things required, but here I am. We'll go ahead and select that. That's been completed, and just like that, you're good to go. Now, just like the Toolbox Talks, you can go in here, you can review what I call the rough draft version, right? This is going to give you an idea of what we have going on as far as our completed signatures, the different controls and hazards we saw on the site, what have you. Great. We have a nice record that we can go back to if anything happens. Additionally, maybe if you need to sort this by project, you need to sort this by something else, we have a nice PDF that we can share with maybe a GC, a job owner, whoever that customer may be. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that this is supposed to be a clean version when I'm sharing the screen, but let's see if we can pull this up and show you guys. We would customize this up here. For anybody out there, if you guys can see this, let me know if you can see this screen. It should say Harness Software up here. We'd put your logo up here. We'd put all of your information. You can review all this, and you got a nice record of that JHA. We can perform that, pass that along to whoever needs it. Easy to share, much cleaner, and easy to pull right out of the system for you. And you could do multiple at a time if you need as well. So that's the JHA. From that side, maybe we'll jump in and show you an inspection really quickly here as well. So I'll go ahead, I'll select another project. Again, it's going to auto-populate that information to save you time, save you effort as you're going through the inspection here. And there's a whole bunch of sections that we can go through. I can maybe pick some of these as an example. Yeah, we'll go with material handling and housekeeping. So I'll go through, I'll perform my inspection. I'm going through, I notice that a couple of these things are completed. Great. Maybe I have some issues that are out there that, maybe some aisles and passageways are not clear. People have been storing things on the site that, in places that they shouldn't be. I can perform a corrective action immediately right in here. I can go ahead and say passageways are not clear. Maybe in this case, it's trash and debris. So again, it's populating these responses for me. I can type additional items in here, or I can type them on my phone. I could use voice to text out in the field to update these if these aren't going to match what I'm using at the time. But the goal is we're going to try and predict that so we can save them time and effort. I can select the severity, how important this is. Oh boy, we're going to assign this to Joe. Olivia's going to make sure that this gets done. We can use this photo area just as we did before. And then we can go ahead and assign this and say, hey, this is critical. We need to make sure before we get on the site tomorrow that this is assigned and this is taken care of. And just like that, it's completed. I go right back to my job safety evaluation and I'm good to go. I can continue answering questions. and answer what I need and complete that inspection form without missing a beat. But I'm also making sure that these things are getting taken care of right away. And again, just like with those other forms, we can PDF these, we can share these through some reporting. We have a lot of ways to sort and filter by who's submitting them, project, you name it. Easy to review and find our inspections as we go. But what happens to those corrective actions, you guys might be asking? Perfect, we got it right in here, we can take a look. Now I didn't submit those, but we'll take a look in here and see what we have out here. We can review and say, hey, maybe we got a first aid issue. That one's open. Hearing protection is not provided, or work area is too dark. These are assigned. Perfect. We can review those if we need. We want to go inside the particular item. Great. Maybe we want to search and filter by who's been assigned what, by company, by project, by severity, deficiency type. There's a ton of options to review what's out there so that you guys can get to the bottom of what you need and get that information resolved. And in addition, I'll go ahead and select some reporting here. This is automatically created. I didn't have to build this on the side, what have you. As you create your corrective actions, as you do your day-to-day safety activities, you're automatically going to get some reporting built for you in the application. So in here, I might realize that we've had a lot of PPE-related deficiencies, or I've had a lot of fire-related deficiencies. Great. Then we need to make some changes as far as our safety program to make sure that we're reducing these deficiencies. Maybe we're talking to the team about, different gloves for the site, or different face masks or ventilators that are easier for folks to use, or what have you. The long story short is we're providing this information so that we can review this and be proactive on our safety program. In addition to that, I've even seen some folks, they'll take this by project. Maybe they'll have a deficiency or so early on the site. Maybe this one would be a good example, but you have some early deficiencies, and you could show over time that you're improving. You could show this to potential suspects or what have you. You got good information so that you can use it to improve your safety program and improve your business as a whole. So that's corrective actions, and that's kind of a brief touch into forms. But again, just keep in mind before we totally leave forms here, there is a whole bunch that we can do and manage. So pretty much any of the safety forms that you might have out there, you can imagine them in here and being handled all in one place and collectively managed. From there, we have SDSs. This one's pretty straightforward, not too much to show you here. We got a couple 100,000, I think almost 1 million SDSs at this point. Easy to search. You can search by title, by keyword, by product code. This is your universal search. We can share that here. If anyone's got their phone up, feel free to maybe take a shot at that QR code, or we can go ahead and maybe just download that sheet right away and show you what we got as far as that SDS is concerned. So a lot of things that we can do here. These are being sourced regularly. And again, if we don't have something that you guys might need, let us know. We'll contact the manufacturer. We'll see what we can do about getting that in for you. That's pretty common. So SDSs are pretty basic. Easy to use, really no excuses for your team not to be referencing these anymore, or no excuses for them not to have that binder on the site. Maybe it's a circumstance in which I don't want to go down 4 or 5 flights of stairs. I don't want to go to the truck to grab the binder, what have you. No excuses not to be safe. You got everything you need right here. From there, for the folks that are out there doing their own trainings and certifications, you can see here we're using this ourselves to train our team on SafetyHQ since it's joined the family of products. But if you guys are doing something along the lines of fall protection, first aid, hazard communication training in this case, this is really easy to manage as well. You can share this with employees and assign these out for the team. You can add photos, you can add, I think we got some videos and things like that we can mention. You can go ahead and build out this lesson, share it with the team, and from there, once it's completed, we can assign a quiz to be completed afterwards as well. So not only are they intaking that information, we're going to make sure that that it's stuck and they're paying some attention. We can include a quiz on here as well. Once this is completed, the really cool part about this is once you've completed a lesson in this area, that'll automatically populate our certifications area as well. So for those of you that might not be tracking that might not be doing in-house lessons, we can track any kind of certifications in here, but those that might be doing some, within your own walls or performing your own training, that hazard communication is going to populate right in here amongst other trainings that you might be getting from, say, a third party, or maybe some trainings and certifications that the team brought over with them when they came to work for you. So in here, while we're in the certifications area, you'll see we can manage what the expiration date, the employee, what's valid, what's not valid. Easy to see and search by, hey, what's coming up and expiring in the next couple of days? Maybe we want to use that in conjunction with a particular training type to see what kind of first aid CPR, who's about to expire and where are we at as a whole for the company. So easy for you to manage the whole team, make sure that everyone's up to date on certain certifications. I'm going to go ahead in this case and search a certification. I'm going to go ahead and use this OSHA 10 as an example. You can also include photos of maybe certificates or cards or what have you, and attach them right on that record as well. So this is Tom's occupational health and safety, 10-hour OSHA. He's ready to go. That's saved right on this record if we ever need to present that. From that side, we can go to Tom's record as well. Maybe I want to review all of Tom's forms here, or his certifications, I should say. Great. We can select all of his certifications. We can share them via QR code, or maybe we, email, whatever you need, or you can go in here and take a look at the certification record for Tom as a whole. Again, this looks kind of goofy right now because this will have your logo, your company information, all that kind of stuff up here. But as a whole, we got it right in here. You can manage and track what's being expired, where this certification or training was completed at, and then obviously the training type. So we got a lot of things that we can do, regardless if you're asked based on the certification, by the employee certification. We can certainly get in there and review whatever we need. Additionally, we have some cool views. I'm just kind of working myself right down the taskbar over here. From the project level, easy to manage and view as far as corrective actions are concerned. You can go ahead and see, hey, here's all the ones that we have outstanding. You can tie equipment to here. You can track and monitor particular pieces of equipment, where they're at as far as inspection, tie them to the project, tie them to employees, tie them to each other. That's all kind of done in this equipment area. We'll get there in a second. But the biggest piece in here is you can include documents. Maybe it's a site-specific safety plan that you want to put on the project. Maybe it's manuals for particular pieces of equipment. In this case, I think we got a scissor lift. Yeah. So this is a scissor lift and operator manual for a Genie here. That's included right here on my project. Easy to review. Again, you can include as many documents as you may need. In addition, maybe you got some universal documents. We got good document storage in here that you can use. Maybe it's your health and safety plan as a whole. Maybe it's company procedures or other PDFs or documents that you just might want folks to review but not necessarily interact with. We can do that in here as well. We'll keep scooting down here and keep moving in the interest of time for everybody. Incident reporting, we have some really nice ways as far as tracking incidents that occur on the site. Now keep in mind, this is incident injury related items for the team. When we get into it, if we have maybe an accident or a vehicle, we have a lot of other forms that we can do from here. But particular incident occurs, again, I'd select that big yellow button. I'm going to select one that's already been completed, so that way we can kind of work off of this edited one here. This is a great way for you to manage not only injuries, incidents that we have on the site, but also near misses. We hear a lot of feedback as far as, hey, we never used to review near misses at all because the process was cumbersome and it was hard enough to get them to report injuries as is. Well, in this case, this is easy to fill out, no excuses. We can get that near miss reported so we can be proactive, in addition to those injuries or other incidents that we might have, maybe lacerations or what have you on the site. That come from there. The nice piece about how we handle our incident reporting is this form is intended to be filled out by somebody in the field, right? So great, we got maybe a foreman, maybe somebody that's on the site that sees the accident. They can include those photos just as before, mark them up, fill out this initial incident report, great. After that's been completed, that's gonna send a notification in the background to maybe it's your HR director, maybe your safety director, owner, what have you. Whoever's out there, whoever needs this information, it's going to give you a notification, say, hey, we've had an incident or a near miss or what have you on the site. Maybe it's time to review some additional information on that. Great. Now, if I'm somebody in one of those roles, I can put in some things like, hey, days away from work. I can track if they're treated in an emergency room, additional photos, what have you. So this takes it's a 3-part section as far as the incident reports are concerned, but you'll see they all create one record. And that goes all the way down to this root cause area. I won't spend too much time here, but this is really that detective work that you're going to spend on determining why this incident happened. You know, maybe this was noise related. We had some particular types of injuries. Great. You have all of that information, and that's all summarized right here in automatic reporting again. So you can get in here, you can see how the team's doing, you can see the root cause of these things. Again, this is giving you the information that you need so that you can be proactive with your safety program. If you don't know what's going on, and if you're not able to collect that data in an efficient time frame, or you're not able to collect those reports, you know, in time or what have you, it's going to be really hard to look forward and, you know, actually prevent injuries and keep the team safe, which is the most important thing here. You know, I think that's what we kind of lose sight of, especially with OSHA or, you know, workers' comp rates and so forth. The number one goal is getting everybody home safe, 10 fingers, 10 toes, ready to go. And being able to use some real-time data helps us do that, helps us be proactive, and helps us, you know, get the team, keep them safe, as well as creating those records and, you know, helping work down that workers' comp insurance rate and what have you. So again, similar to those other items, it's easy to pop in here and review, you know, based on certain filters or what you need. You can get any access to any completed form that you need as we go. From there, maybe I'll kind of wrap up with this equipment tracking. This is an easy way for us, again, to use these filters and sort, see what's, you know, see what needs inspection, what's out of date, what have you. That ties in very nicely with our equipment inspection form. This is another good example here. Let's go ahead and do one of these. Select a piece of equipment. We'll say this was on site, what have you. I'll pick a couple of these items. And the nice piece about these, similar to the incident reports, is if I have something that requires maintenance or is maybe marked not safe, what that's going to do is that's going to send a notification as well. So maybe you want your garage manager, your fleet manager, your maintenance team, maybe even your HR team or health and safety team. They can be notified if we got some items that are marked unsafe on the site. So again, between actually completing this form and reviewing where things are at as a whole, it gives us a pretty good idea of where our equipment's at. Again, photos, different items that you need to manage from the equipment perspective as well. So just wanted to give you guys a brief overview, kind of a preview of what this software can do. You'll notice that as we go out here and as we work through this product, we're really trying to keep the team engaged, filling out good information that you can use, but at the same time, we want them to be super efficient and get through this information so that they can get on to their production tasks while remaining safe and keeping some of these top of mind. So again, really brief preview today. If you guys have any questions, maybe pop these into the bar here. I know it looks like we got a handful of them, so maybe I'll just answer one or two, I should say, before we get going here. But before folks start jumping off, if you got any questions or if you have any items that that you'd like answered, or maybe you want a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial on how this has worked, I'm just going to go ahead and put my email in here right away, or you can go to mysafetyhq.com. We don't have anything in here, but I'll just highlight my email address so we can keep everything up on the screen here. So that is EDV Echo Delta Victor @foundationsoft.com. Feel free to reach out. Be happy to schedule a demo with you, or again, we'll have an email coming after this, or maybe the email that you had before. Feel free to use any of those links or contact us through those methods as well. So questions, let me pull those up here now. 1 second, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Oh boy. So yeah, Toolbox Talks. You're absolutely able to add templates to the Toolbox Talks. You can add whatever you need. Again, we have some pretty good templates or Toolbox Talks in here, but at the same time, it's really easy to add something new. If you got something specific to your business as a whole, you can certainly include those as you go. Sent out to the team via email. Are individuals able to sign the talk from their device, or do they need to sign with the team device? Again, you can certainly sign from a team device. You can also include a photo of the whole group if the group doesn't want to sign them, or you can take the path of sending out Toolbox Talks to each one of your individual employees. We've seen it both ways. We can certainly handle both methods. They can just sign their own individuals if that's completed as well. What I demonstrated today was obviously foreman specific. Yeah, so as we keep getting a couple going in here, Some more questions. I apologize, I might not be able to get to all of them here. I know we're running maybe about 5 minutes over or so forth. So I appreciate your patience and hanging on here. But again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, definitely let me know. Shoot me an email, jump on for a demo or what have you. Oh, the last thing I should mention, I did get a couple of questions on this, is pricing. So to get an individualized quote, let me know. We can certainly work through it. But the big thing, and the one thing that I'm really proud of as far as our pricing for SafetyHQ is concerned, is we price based on the company as a whole, right? So we're going to get a rough idea of your headcount, some of the forms that you're using, maybe some of the complexities on which we're going to have to build out some of those items and so forth. Once we get an idea of that pricing is a monthly subscription fee that's going to be focused on your business as a whole and not on an individual user license basis. A lot of folks out there are charged on an individual user license basis, which we try and avoid just simply because it's the safety software, right? We want as many people in here utilizing the tool and being safe and having access to this as possible. And if you go from the user license, it inevitably will make some uncomfortable decisions as far as whether or not somebody needs access or what have you. So we take all that information together. Team's been doing this for a long time. We got a pretty good idea of the overhead and all of the things that will be required to get you up and running. So we price that in as your company as a whole. If you add folks, if you lose folks, if they come and go, what have you, we got you in for the company rate based on your size and your complexity, and you don't have to worry about licenses from there. So you're good to go. One other, I lied. There's one other question that I want to get to while we had here. If you are a foundation software user, there's some folks are asking out there. Again, you don't have to be. You can use Harness Safety. We have a bunch of folks using all different sorts of accounting and ERP. But if you're using foundation software, we are close to completing an integration with our API for projects and workers to be automatically populated within this software. So that'll save you quite a bit of time as far as duplicate entry is concerned. That's coming right down the pike. They've been working on that since prior to the acquisition for a couple of months. So that'll be coming here in the next month and some change, maybe 2 months, somewhere in that neighborhood. So again, if anyone's getting ready to sign up today, it'll be either when you're ready to go or shortly thereafter. But a really nice piece, a nice benefit to have that integration between those items there to save you that time and dual entry effort. So, well, thank you guys again. Appreciate everybody's time. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to contact you and work with you more on the solution here and talk to you about what SafetyHQ can do for your company specifically. But thanks for the time today. Appreciate you taking time over your lunch or late morning, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for joining SafetyHQ.